Welcome! So it is February, the shortest month of the year. When you're seeing this, we've already gone through a few days of the year. I am filming this February 1st, and I have already started some of the TBR. And it is ambitious. There are like 12 things on it, and some are much denser than others. Some should be easier. I don't have an audiobook for everything. Teaching is in full swing. I mean, I won't become as busy as I'm going to be until March. That's when my last class shows up. But it's busy. It's going to be a busy time. So, why not just be ambitious? Why not? There was like the Locust reading list just came out. I've got books that I've been wanting to read that come out this year. I've got obligations. So here we are. And that doesn't even like include all the TV I want to watch, which is another problem. Starting with my book club. I have a local book club. We're going to be reading 2 things this month, and they're both pretty short. So there's at least that. So one of them we're reading for, I think, a couple weeks from today is called The Origin of Others. It's an essay collection or lecture collection by Toni Morrison. It was first put together in 2016. I do think this year we're getting an audiobook that's coming out. It's unfortunately, I think, Audible exclusive and it's not out yet, so useless to me. And I've read one Toni Morrison, I think before the channel. I think I read The Bluest Eye in 2019, 2018, a while ago. I was always really shocked that she wasn't taught in my schools because I grew up on the east side of Cleveland and she grew up on the west side of Cleveland. It seems like a no-brainer. I think now they've rectified it, but it was definitely one of those things where since I was in school in the middle aughts, it just hadn't been fixed yet. We were still just instead reading all the Dickens and all the Shakespeare. I'm not saying you shouldn't read those, but we don't have to read 2 Dickens and no Toni Morrison, Regardless, I've never read her nonfiction or essays, and I'm glad we're going to discuss it. She has a very poetic style, which means I can get lost in the sauce. I've read 2 of the essays actually already, and I'll talk about that more Friday, but it's short. So this is for sure getting read because I just love going to a book club. I adore going to a book club. Another thing we're doing near the end of the month is a translated work. It's You Dreamed of Empires, and I believe it's historical. I know it's historical. I just don't know if it's historical fiction or alternate history. I don't have a strong sense, but it is like Cortez, Mayan Empire, Central Mexico and its history. And so I am curious about what I shall have in store for me in this one. But those are the 2 I'm reading for my in-person book clubbish activities, and I'm excited for it. Especially because the Toni Morrison's going to help me for her kid, because I don't have essays yet for a nonfiction, so it's another nonfiction, and I think I have only one more nonfiction I need, which was going to be one of my harder squares, and it's already on my shelf over there, so winning. Next up for Patreon, it's like kind of loosey-goosey, like we put books out, and I more just say read it this quarter, because I know everyone's life's chaotic. I try to read them in certain months, though. And actually, a lot of us read The Dispossessed last month. So yay. This month, I'm reading These Burning Stars, which is the first book in a Bethany Jacobs trilogy. I forget the name of the trilogy. The last book came out in the fall, so that means it's Hugo eligible, so I was going to try and at least start the series so I can know if I want to nominate it or not. A lot of people I know really love this trilogy, so I want to just know my opinion. And I always say, winter, I feel more sci-fi-y, so I'm putting it on here because I wanted some sci-fi. So this is what I'm reading with Patreon. In addition to, we got some short stories and novelettes that we're picking right now because of the Locust list, but I won't. I'll just talk about those as I read them in my Friday reads. And then for the TBR spin, we get our second book. And I think the prompt this month was an author you haven't read from before. So I picked this not only because it's one of the 2025 books that I could still consider for nominations, but also because I literally picked this book up because I haven't read from this author. I know that they're pretty well known, especially in British SFF space, and I wanted to try his works, and that's Gareth L. Powell's Future's Edge. This nice yellow book that I picked up during my indie bookstore crawl. And I'm not going to talk about what I've read in it. I'll talk about that Friday, but I have read 100 pages of this, and it's a short book. It's like a 300-page book. The premise of this is it's a sci-fi universe in which planets and alien species are interconnected, and we're at a point where humanity has essentially been extinct from Earth because of this big force. And our main character is at a refugee camp when they're recruited because they might have the key to saving what's left of humanity in the universe because they touched an alien artifact while they were Indiana Jonesing it at a PhD project. So that's like that's the back of the tin summary. I have more thoughts than that, but I will save them. But this is my TBR spin book. And for Herked, we're supposed to read a book that's published in each month of the year, 60 days before or after, and I hadn't picked a February book yet. And I don't know if I'll read this one in February. Tentatively, I'm planning to, but I might wait to see if I can get access to the audiobook. And that is Nightshade and Oak. This is the author who wrote Green Teeth last year, which I did like, but I read the audio last year. So I'm going to try and see if the prose style works well in my brain. But I have no idea, and I don't know what this is about. I have no idea what this is about. I requested it because I had read Green Teeth. And maybe that's not a good enough reason, but it is what I did. So my guess is fantasy. Let's see, Nightshade and Oak. Nightshade, Poison. Maybe it's Snow White adjacent, but I'm assuming it's going to, again, be fairy tale, folklore adjacent fantasy with some whimsy, with some, like, I don't know, fun quips with characters. I'm hoping it's a good time and an easier read. A book I'm really excited about. It comes out this year. And if I read it near the end of February, it works for the 60 days for the month it comes out in, which is May. And I just really want to read it. This is on the list because I just really want to read it. And I didn't realize it was coming out this year. It's a novella, and it's called The Subtle Art of Folding Space by John Chu, who is one of my favorite short work authors. I think I've read 2 novelettes by him, and I adored both of them. One was like a pseudo superhero story. The other one was a student going to school, and like I really loved both of them immensely. And so I'm excited to see what character I get to meet and what interactions I get to have in this. I don't know what it's about. I do not care. I want to read this like longer John Chu. Like it's still just a novella. It's not like that big. Also, the cover is really cute. Like I really like the whole dumplings going down into a universe sort of thing. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Another goal of mine is I've read book 1 of Memories of Ice, so I would like to now read book 2, because that is the pace at which I am reading Malazan right now. It's happening. It's definitely happening. Boy, is she dense. She's always so dense and cool, but very dense. Lots of brain power. It's not a breezy time. And then these next 4, one of them's because it's February, and I felt like I wanted to have something fun and like romance adjacent. And Laura in the Discord was reading it, and some of her comments, I'm like, I might need a book like that in February. I think that needs to go on the TBR. And that is Son of Morning by Akwaeke Emezi. Akwaeke Emezi's great. I don't really know what else to say. Like, they're a fantastic author for me. I really loved their book, You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. Was fantastic. So Son of Morning is a romantasy book by them. And I hear it goes really spicy, really abruptly sometimes. And sometimes that doesn't work for me, but also sometimes I still love that. Because I just think it's just enjoyable. It's just, I don't know, fun. So we'll see if it works for me. I don't really know much about the fantasy part of this romantasy. But I really liked the romance. So I'm like, cool, I'll probably like a romantasy. Let's find out. And also, they just have amazing prose. Like, I like the style of the sentences that are written by them. And then I've got 3 books that are purely here because I have access to them. And they were on the Locust Award list. Like, there's a Locust reading list that comes out each year. It's like it's truly one of the beginning nulls of the award season. There's a couple things. I guess Goodreads is like the first. And then sometimes it's the British Sci-Fi Award long list, which we do have out. And then it's this. And so I'm really feeling like, oh man, we're getting close. Soon we'll be able to nominate for the Hugos. Soon we'll get the Nebula shortlist. Like, it's just a fun, silly time. But on that list, and based off actually reviews in one of my recent videos, I had a sci-fi recommendation video. I was told about Slow Gods, which someone had already been reading in the Discord. And I was intrigued, and it was available as an audiobook through Libro FM. So I had already acquired it for free. I hadn't read it yet, and I know Claire North, I think, has written more of like a Greek retelling thing. Like, I think it was Ithaca. Am I making that up? I don't know. And so Slow Gods was intriguing to me based off some reviews I read, based off the fact that people were like, I feel like this would belong on the list of books that you were like recommending thematically. And I briefly read part of a synopsis and I'm just like, yeah, I need to try this. Like, I need to try this audiobook and see how I feel about it. So that's another sci-fi book that I want to read before I nominate. Another book that was just on the list, and I was like, I should read it because I've had it, and I bought a copy of it, and it's an author I really like. And that is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. I actually have my copy right next to me. I don't need to show you a picture. I don't have that many physical copies this month. But yeah, this is my copy that I bought for myself. It's not even that long. You know, so I have 12 things, but not everything's that long. So it could happen. It could happen. So yeah, I think I would just like to read books that I own. Like, that's a thing most people aspire for. So, I mean, I have always said, if I'm reading at least 2 books that I own each month, then I feel okay. And that is still currently happening. Maybe. But I picked this over some other physical books that I could have because I can also easily get the audiobook if needed. Although with T. Kingfisher, I have not typically needed the audiobook. I really love like the end pages of a T. Kingfisher book. Tor really loves her, and you know, I appreciate that. And now my last book, and it was on like my goals video, TBR, and this was also on the Locust reading list. And I was like, man, I really should get to it. And I had just made my sci-fi video that mentioned Arbor Reality. So Rebecca Campbell had a short story collection come out last year called The Other Shore. And it's just a short story collection, and I want to read it. And so I'm putting it on the list. In addition to whatever short stories and novelettes we put into our Patreon buddy read, because I would also keep liking to write, I would keep liking to read short fiction. And there's so much short fiction that I'm like, wait, this author released something that year. And it's like, I still have the rest of my Faya magazine to read. I've read the first 2 stories, but there's still plenty more, but that's also 2026 reading. And I feel like I am still currently in the catch up in 2025 before I get into 2026 mode. I'm sure I'll transition in Q2 or something. Basically, I'm feeling energized today. I'm feeling motivated. After this, I will probably finish a different book that is not on this TBR, but you know, such is life. What are your plans for the upcoming month? Is there anything you're really excited to get to? Is there a romance release that I am missing? Because I don't think there's an Allie Hazelwood this month. That's like an actual novel and not like some weird audio exclusive situation. Because I'm very used to there being a romance book or a romantasy book that I'm interested in February, but I didn't notice any. So that's why The Son of Morning's here, and I'm not mad about it. But if I have a glaring miss here, just let me know. And if you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here. Well, this is like the book I'm currently reading, Future's Edge. It is so aggressively yellow. Leave something aggressively yellow. It can be a star. It can be a yellow heart. It can be the sun. I don't care. Yellow. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.